Before we begin our journey, make sure to subscribe to Secret Earth and turn on notifications so you never miss our next adventure. Every week, we explore the world's most remote islands, hidden civilizations, extreme environments, and incredible places that few people ever get to see. If you enjoy fascinating documentaries about unique cultures, breathtaking landscapes, and the extraordinary ways people live around the world, give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us bring you even more amazing stories from every corner of our planet. Now, let's travel beyond the myths and discover what life is really like in Bermuda. In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, nearly 1,000 kilometers from the nearest mainland, lies a small group of islands surrounded by crystal-clear turquoise waters. To millions of people, Bermuda is known for one thing: the mysterious Bermuda Triangle, a place where countless legends claim that ships and airplanes have vanished without a trace. But beyond the myths and sensational stories is a very different reality. Bermuda is home to more than 60,000 people who have built a remarkable way of life on one of the most isolated island territories in the world. Every morning, children head to school along winding coastal roads, fishermen prepare their boats before sunrise, professionals commute to international financial offices, and families gather to enjoy breathtaking ocean sunsets. Life here is unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. With no rivers, no lakes, very little farmland, and almost everything imported from overseas, the people of Bermuda have learned to adapt to extraordinary challenges while preserving a unique culture shaped by centuries of history. What is it really like to call these islands home? How do people afford one of the most expensive places in the world? And why do so many residents say they would never want to live anywhere else? Today we're leaving behind the myths to discover the real Bermuda. Bermuda is not a single island but an archipelago made up of more than 180 small islands and islets connected by bridges and causeways. Together, they cover only about 54 square kilometers, making Bermuda one of the smallest inhabited territories in the world. Located in the North Atlantic Ocean, Bermuda sits nearly 1,000 kilometers east of North Carolina in the United States. Despite its remote location, the islands have become one of the world's most recognizable destinations. From above, Bermuda looks almost unreal. Coral reefs surround the islands like a natural fortress, creating brilliant shades of blue and turquoise that stretch for miles. The famous pink sand beaches are formed by tiny fragments of coral and shells, giving the coastline a color found in very few places on Earth. The climate is warm for most of the year, thanks to the Gulf Stream, making Bermuda feel almost subtropical despite being much farther north than many Caribbean islands. Unlike tropical destinations filled with dense jungles and towering mountains, Bermuda has gentle rolling hills, colorful neighborhoods, carefully maintained gardens and dramatic limestone cliffs overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Every part of daily life is influenced by the sea. The ocean is the main source of food, tourism, recreation, transportation, and identity. It is impossible to separate Bermuda from the Atlantic that surrounds it. For more than 4 centuries, the people of Bermuda have built their lives around one simple truth: no one thrives alone on a remote island. Long before modern technology connected Bermuda to the rest of the world, survival depended on neighbors helping neighbors, families working together, and entire communities sharing the responsibilities of island life. Even today, despite modern infrastructure and global connections, that spirit of cooperation remains one of the defining characteristics of Bermudian society. The story of Bermuda began in an unexpected way. In 1609, the English ship Sea Venture was sailing toward the struggling Jamestown colony in Virginia when it was caught in a violent hurricane. As towering waves battered the vessel and fierce winds threatened to tear it apart, Admiral Sir George Somers made a desperate decision. Rather than allowing the ship to sink in the open Atlantic, he intentionally steered it toward the coral reefs surrounding Bermuda. The ship was wrecked, but remarkably, every passenger and crew member survived. What could have become a tragedy instead became the beginning of a permanent settlement. The stranded survivors spent months exploring the islands, discovering an environment unlike anything they had expected. They found fresh rainwater collected naturally, dense cedar forests ideal for building boats, abundant fish, seabirds, and fertile pockets of land. When some of the survivors eventually continued their journey to Virginia, stories of Bermuda's natural beauty and strategic location encouraged England to establish a permanent colony. Over the centuries that followed, Bermuda evolved from a small colonial outpost into one of Britain's oldest overseas territories. Yet its identity was never shaped by Britain alone. Ships crossing the Atlantic brought merchants, sailors, craftsmen, soldiers, and workers from many different parts of the world. African traditions became deeply woven into the island's music, cuisine, and cultural celebrations. Portuguese immigrants, particularly from the Azores and Madeira, introduced new farming techniques and family traditions that remain visible today. Influences from the Caribbean and North America added even more diversity, creating a society that is remarkably multicultural despite its small size. Walking through Bermuda today, these influences are visible everywhere. Colonial-era churches stand beside colorful pastel homes. Traditional British customs exist alongside vibrant island festivals filled with music and dance. Local restaurants serve classic fish chowder seasoned with black rum and sherry peppers, while Portuguese bakeries prepare fresh bread each morning. This blend of cultures has created a community that feels both familiar and completely unique. English is the official language, but visitors quickly notice that Bermudians have their own rhythm of speech. Local expressions, accents, and everyday phrases reflect generations of shared history. Conversations often begin with a friendly greeting, and it is common for strangers to acknowledge one another while passing on quiet neighborhood streets. Courtesy is more than simple politeness, it is an important part of island culture. Life moves at a different pace than in many large cities. While international business gives Bermuda a modern and sophisticated economy, daily life outside the financial district often feels relaxed and deeply connected to the surrounding environment. The ocean is never far away, and many residents measure their days not only by the clock but by the weather, the tides, and the changing seasons. This close relationship with nature has shaped the character of the people themselves. Islanders have learned to respect the power of hurricanes, appreciate the value of limited natural resources, and understand that living on a small island requires careful planning and mutual support. Every generation inherits this knowledge, passing it down through family stories and everyday experience. One of the first things visitors notice about Bermuda is how connected the communities are. Unlike large cities where people can spend years without knowing their neighbors, life on these islands is built around familiar faces and lasting relationships. It is common for generations of the same family to live within a few miles of one another, creating a strong network of support that extends far beyond the household. In many neighborhoods, people greet each other by name as they pass on narrow roads lined with colorful houses and flowering gardens. Children often grow up surrounded not only by parents and grandparents but also by lifelong family friends who have watched them since birth. This sense of belonging creates a feeling of security that many residents describe as one of the greatest advantages of living in Bermuda. Community life revolves around much more than work. Churches remain important gathering places where families meet every week, celebrate weddings, honor loved ones, and organize charity events that strengthen local bonds. Throughout the year, schools, sports clubs, volunteer organizations, and neighborhood associations host activities that bring people together, ensuring that traditions continue from one generation to the next. Education plays a central role in Bermudian society. Children attend public or private schools where they learn not only mathematics, science, and literature but also the history and heritage of their islands. Students grow up understanding the importance of protecting Bermuda's fragile environment, preserving its coral reefs, and respecting the unique wildlife that surrounds them. Many young Bermudians continue their studies abroad in countries such as the United Kingdom, Canada, or the United States before returning home with new skills and experiences that contribute to the island's future. Sports are another essential part of everyday life. Cricket holds a special place in Bermudian culture, reflecting the island's British heritage. During major cricket tournaments, entire communities gather to support local teams, transforming sporting events into lively social celebrations filled with music, food, and friendly competition. Football, rugby, sailing, tennis, golf, and triathlons are also extremely popular, taking advantage of Bermuda's mild climate throughout much of the year. Perhaps no event captures the island's spirit better than Cup Match, Bermuda's most celebrated national holiday. Originally established to commemorate the abolition of slavery, the two-day festival has grown into a remarkable blend of history, culture, and sport. Families gather in parks and stadiums, cricket matches attract thousands of spectators, local musicians perform traditional Gombe rhythms, and colorful celebrations continue well into the evening. For many Bermudians, Cup Match is more than a sporting event. It is a powerful reminder of resilience, freedom, and shared identity. Despite its image as a luxury destination, everyday life is not without challenges. Because Bermuda is so isolated, nearly everything must arrive by cargo ship or airplane. Fresh produce, household goods, building materials, vehicles, and even many everyday necessities travel thousands of kilometers before reaching local stores. As a result, prices are among the highest in the world, and families carefully manage their budgets while adapting to the realities of island living. Space is another precious resource. With a limited amount of land available, homes are built close together, and every square meter is used thoughtfully. Gardens are carefully maintained, rainwater collection systems are built into rooftops, and residents understand the importance of conserving resources that many people elsewhere take for granted. Yet these challenges have also created remarkable resilience. Bermudians have learned to adapt, innovate, and support one another through changing economic conditions and powerful Atlantic storms. When hurricanes approach, neighbors help secure homes, businesses prepare together, and emergency services coordinate closely with local communities. Once the storm has passed, the spirit of cooperation quickly becomes visible again as people work side by side to clear roads, repair damage, and restore daily life. Perhaps this is the greatest lesson Bermuda offers the world. Living on a small island surrounded by thousands of kilometers of open ocean teaches people that true strength does not come from size or wealth alone. It comes from trust, cooperation, and a shared commitment to protecting the place they call home. For the people of Bermuda, the islands are far more than a beautiful destination on a map. They are a living community where history, culture, and nature exist in remarkable harmony. Every sunrise over the Atlantic, every neighborhood gathering, every family tradition, and every act of kindness reminds residents that while they may live far from the world's largest countries, they are part of something deeply meaningful. In the next chapter, we'll follow a typical day in Bermuda, from the first light of dawn to the peaceful evenings by the sea, and discover what everyday life truly looks like on one of the world's most fascinating island communities.